Sports Talk. Let's go.
What it is, everyone? How you guys doing? It's me, your boy, Ryan Flowers, a.k.a. Clutch Sports Talk, and welcome to another edition of NFL Matchups. It's the divisional round here in the NFL, man. We're going to be talking about a lot of things, but before we get to the divisional matchups, we got to talk about the Eagles. What happened to them Sunday against the 49ers, and what does the future look like for them, and what are some concerns for the Eagles as they try to maybe get back on the top of the NFL? Also, Justin Herbert falls to 0-3 as a starting quarterback in the playoffs in the National Football League. Is it all on him, or were there some other contributing factors that led to their demise this past weekend against the New England Patriots? And of course, it would not be NFL matchups if I did not break down every matchup for this round of the playoffs. So, hey, if you love football, then you are in the right place. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. This is NFL Matchups with me, Ryan Flowers. Let's go.
We're going to be here all day, baby. I like this kind of party. I like this kind of party, baby.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Hope you guys are doing all right, man, on this fine Tuesday afternoon or evening on the East Coast where you are. I am, again, your host, Ryan Flowers, a.k.a. Clutch Sports Talk. But before we move forward, make sure if you haven't already, we got a couple things going on right now. I'm streaming live on TikTok, live on YouTube and Facebook. But you can reach me at Clutch Sports Talk Podcast on YouTube as well as on the Grid Network. So check out those YouTube pages and also check me out on TikTok as well as Instagram. Now, TikTok, we're trying to get to this goal here. I'm trying to get to about 1,000 followers on TikTok. I'm about like 927, something crazy like that, man. So head on over there if you don't mind. If not, drop a comment. Let me know what's going on. But other than that, man, let's get the show rolling tonight. So, hey, Eagles, out of here, gone, bye, see you later. And I'm not just happy because I'm a Cowboys fan, but you know what? It's probably a good thing that they just ended their season. Now, some good things did happen over the course of the season, but there was a lot of wrong, right? We got to see a lot of Jalen Hurts. I know going into the season, a lot of people thought he was an elite quarterback. He's probably come down a little bit. Obviously, coordinating situation hasn't been great. Coaching hasn't been great. And the game on Sunday was just a dichotomy of the season itself. Pretty good first half, I would say, and then it just fell off the rails in the second half. Altogether. So what went wrong? I mean, offensively, they're predictable. And now they just fired their OC a couple minutes before I went live here. So he's out. And when you're that predictable and you're playing against a Robert Saleh team, a defensive team, or unit, Robert Saleh is really good. He might have been shit as a head coach, but a defensive coordinator, he is not shit. He's actually legit. And you can see that the San Francisco 49ers, despite their lack of pass rush, their ability to get after it, they were able to keep their form and still present a challenge to the Philadelphia Eagles. And also, it's just an indictment on the coaching as well as the play from the quarterback. You think about it. They're missing Fred Warner, Nick Bosa. Let's talk about the defensive side of things. I believe there are two middle linebackers. Eric Kendricks had to come in and get some spot duty there in that game. Probably a bunch of other guys that are missing too, and they still could not take advantage of the 49ers, who also lost George Kittle throughout in the game too. Anyway, but overall, lack of in-game adjustments along with the predictable offense, that was another thing. And just overall, the momentum really never went to either side, just to the very end. And the Eagles still had a chance to get things right at the end of that game. And when you look at that last play call that they called, right? I don't know if anybody noticed this. They called the timeout. Jalen Hurts goes over to Nick Sirianni, and I forgot the offensive coordinator's name already off the top of my head, but Patulio, whatever his name is. They're talking, and you can tell neither the coach or the offensive coordinator have no idea what they call in this situation. You think Kyle Shanahan in that particular situation, or a Sean McVay, or hell, even a Matt LaFleur, I know he's out, or Ben Johnson, you think they don't know what to call on 4th and 11 to base a play that's going to make or break your season or end it or continue it? Those guys were clueless. And when they ran out there, what did they run? 4 verticals from what it looks like. 4 verticals. You don't think Robert Saleh's defense is going to be ready for that, or they're not able to cover that? Come on. The 49ers had no pass rush, like I told you before. Jalen Hurts could have sat there made a Philly cheese, did his taxes, and still would have been able to do something. And a lot of, I'm not going to put it all on him too, but again, I go back to that scenario where they're just like looking around like, well, what do you think? And they just asked Jalen Hurts, and he's like, I don't know, man. Fort Verts, shit sounds good to me. I don't know. So, and overall, I mean, that was pretty much all you needed to know about the Philadelphia Eagles from the offensive perspective, right? I mean, they weren't a physical team all year round. They didn't run the football. Saquon Barkley was a shell of himself. And let's not even get started on A.J. Brown, right? A.J. Brown, for all of the diva mentality that he has, and shout out to TikTok. You guys are getting the likes up there. Appreciate you guys. You got to show up, man. You got to catch the football. You're talking all this crap that, they got to get you the ball. You got to get the ball. You got to get the ball. You got to get the ball. They throw you the ball. You drop the ball. So he's pretty much done in Philly. I mean, then you have that interaction with Sirianni himself during the game. I mean, Sirianni, he's a prick. You can tell. He's a prick. And that's the part of the reason why a lot of people don't like the Eagles. All the shit talking that they do, they didn't back it up. Nick Sirianni, I will say this. Nick Sirianni, Jalen Hurts, a lot of these guys, man, they're lucky they got a Super Bowl. And I'm not saying that because I'm a Cowboys fan, but they're very lucky they won that Super Bowl last year, because if not, we're looking at Jalen Hurts completely different now, right? I think all of the love that he got, and granted, a lot of it was deserved, but I think a lot of the fandom, the media, they're putting him on this pedestal, right? And he still needs a lot to be successful, just like any quarterback in the National Football League. So I was not on the train thinking he was elite. I thought he was good. He's a winner. He's a great quarterback. Not saying he's a bum. He's a winner. He's a competitor. So overall, the Eagles, I mean, what's next for them? Obviously, you're going to have to evaluate your offensive coordinating situation, right? Whoever's available, go get them. It can't be Nick Sirianni, because we saw what he was able to do when he was a coordinator. They have to be taken away from him, okay? Roster-wise, I mean, you think about it, they've got some older guys on the team too. You look at Saquon. Saquon, I know he's like only 28. He's going to be 29 next year. Running backs don't get better when they get older. They start to slow down. And did we see him slowing down now? Perhaps. I know the offensive line wasn't that good this year. It wasn't as dominant as it was last year, right? Their defense, not bad. I mean, the secondary is pretty good, but they weren't dominant throughout the year. And that's the thing that we missed most. Doesn't mean that their Super Bowl window has closed. I'm not saying that. I think they still are one of the teams, to be considered in the NFL, not just the NFC, but the NFL. But I think they're going to come down. They're going to come down. Especially look at the division. If the Cowboys can figure things out and get their defense right, the Cowboys will be better. New York, if they can get the right head coach in there, they might be onto something. The Commanders is hit or miss, I would say. But overall, this team isn't as dominant. They won a lot of games they probably shouldn't have won this year too. But overall, it's probably best that they just kind of bow out here, right? They're not going to just go in the tank. That's just not what they do. They're the Eagles, right? They've been really, really good with Howie Roseman, leading the way with all the moves that he makes. Shout out to you guys here on TikTok, man. We reached over 1,000K likes. Appreciate you guys. Let's keep it going. YouTube, what's up? YouTube, what's up, man? Nobody's here. Come on, let's go. Let's drop some comments in here. But I mean, bottom line, they're not going to be rebuilding. They're just going to retool. That's because they still have guys there. Obviously, you trade A.J. Brown, you get some pieces for him. You try to improve the roster. And Jalen Hurts, honestly, man, he's got to use his legs a little bit more. I think that's what made him so successful the last couple of years. He's sitting there trying to be a quarterback that throws out of the pocket. It's not really your game. But once they get paid, they kind of start going different ways, right? So I don't know. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with them. But they're out. Good riddance. See you later. Die, Eagles, die. Or bye, Eagles, bye. No victory tonight. So, all right, moving on, man. Justin Herbert, 0-3 as a playoff starter. I mean, I'm not going to say this last one was all on him, but he doesn't look impressive, I would say. And granted, the Chargers, they lack offensive firepower. I mean, when you think of the Chargers offense, like, who comes to mind when you first think of the Chargers offensively, right? Other than Justin Herbert. Lad McConkey, I mean, I guess. But is he just imposing? Our team's really like, man, we got to prepare for Lad McConkey. Hey, Rashawn, you're right, man. Texans off, and I'm gonna talk about the Texans. So, Rashawn, stick around, man. I'm almost to that segment, but I'm gonna talk about them too. But back to the Chargers, they, I mean, Quentin Johnson. I mean, like they don't really have any firepower at all. Defensively, they're pretty solid. I know what Jim Harbaugh was trying to do when you went here, right? Build the offensive line, which they went out and did. They tried to go get some guys. Now, injuries, plagued this team as well. And I mean, I will give Justin Herbert credit. He's a tough dude, man. Playing with the injuries that he had to endure throughout the season, getting to the playoffs, I give him that. So I'm not going to put all of it on him this time around. But the injuries, I think, really derailed this team. And I think they're very conservative, of course, because that's what Jim Harbaugh is. He wants to run the football and play good defense. So your quarterback doesn't need to do too much. But in this particular case, man, you have to show defenses that you have some explosiveness. And they just don't. They don't. The Patriots are sitting there like, we're not really worried about you guys like that. That's why he got sacked like 6-7 times in that game. They really did not care who was out there running routes. They really just did it, So, I mean, does he deserve the credit or receive the backlash? I mean, yeah, he's the quarterback, right? At the end of the day, right? But a lot of it too, man, is just the situation. Like I said, the injuries, he's got to protect himself too a lot better too, understanding how to process things, get out of the pressure, throw the ball away, whether to run or not. Like you can't continue to take sack after sack after sack after sack, especially because you got a broken arm, my guy. So what I think needs to change, honestly, they got to get healthy. But I will say this, they do need to go and get an explosive wide receiver, some type of player on the offensive side of the ball that will put fear or strike fear into the hearts of a defensive coordinator and the rest of his team. That they don't have right now. Because for how good Lad McConkey is, don't get me wrong, nice player, solid. Nobody's waiting up at night thinking about him. I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. So, obviously, they're going to continue to run the football. I think they can do that. But again, continue to bolster the offensive line. I know they went and got, I forgot his name. I think his name is Becton from Philadelphia in the offseason. He brought him in. He really didn't do that well. We got to scrap that and go get somebody else. Because if Justin Herbert's going to be successful, he has to be protected. He's got to be protective. And they can't just run the football. Every now and then, you're going to have to complete a pass 10 or more yards down the field. And you're going to have guys that take the top off the defense. And that they just don't have. So, final take on him. I mean, listen, I don't want to hear about Justin Herbert like, oh my God, he's just his top tier. He's been in the league 6 years now. He's a great talent. I'm not going to say he's not talented, but he's not a guy that you're going to put in the upper echelon. And anyone that puts him in the upper echelon, you're either a Chargers fan or you just don't really understand football. Welcome. Hey, what's up, Jabor from Allentown? I appreciate you for stopping by. Right. Justin Herbert is a good player. He is. I just think they're going to have to re-examine the way they approach games with him, but it also starts with the personnel around him, either being healthy or bringing that extra level of explosiveness to their offense. So, will they win games? Yeah, Jim Harbaugh is not a loser. Everywhere he's been, he's going to win, but can they get over the hump? They're going to need a little bit more. They're going to need a little bit more. So again, I don't think that the loss was totally on him because there's a lot of other contributing factors to it. But the 0-3 is 0-3. He has to own that, and I get that. It's the same thing with Dak. Dak hasn't had a very great resume in the playoffs. But a lot of it too is because maybe the defense sucks. So I get that. But Justin Herbert, from a talent perspective, one of the best quarterbacks, I would say, talent-wise. But when it comes to who do I want to start a franchise with right now today, I don't know, or not even that. I take that back. Like, he's not a guy that you're going to think about right now because he's got to get it done in the postseason, which a lot of guys haven't. You go back to Lamar Jackson. Josh Allen just finally got his first road victory in the playoffs. Like, that's crazy. You know what I mean? So it's not easy, folks. It's not easy. And people like me and pundits online or whatever, trolls, whatever, like, we look at these, we analyze these guys, and the fact of the matter is that neither one of us can do what they do. Because if we could, we'd be doing it. And I understand that. So, but the Chargers, solid team. I'm not that really worried about them just because they just don't have enough. Like they're not anybody that I'm really that afraid of. And I knew they were going to win the game against New England. And sure enough, New England did their thing. We got a comment here on YouTube. Oh, he's late. You just missed it. Die, Eagles, die. CJ Smooth, man. He's sad. So somebody give that guy send him some flowers, but he's an Eagles fan. All right, nonetheless, man, let's keep rolling here, man. Because this is what I really want to get to. This is what make NFL matchups. Now, you guys can't see it because you're not watching on YouTube, but I'll break it down for you. I'm just showing the games, the matchups for the divisional round. So we're going to start with Buffalo at Denver. Last time I checked, I believe Denver is favored at -1.5, over under 6.5. Chris, don't cry, brother. All right. This is a good game. What a way to open up the division round. Denver. Let's talk about Denver for a minute here. Listen, unless you're a Denver fan, you probably don't want to hear this shit, but I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. And I'm not trolling. I'm just spitting what comes to my brain, right? Denver, good defense. I think that's the first thing that comes to everyone's mind when you talk about Denver, right? In the chat, what do you think is the second thing that comes to people's mind when thinking about Denver? If you're watching anywhere, YouTube, TikTok, wherever you're watching, I'll give you guys a second. What's the second thing that comes to mind when you talk about Denver? When you think about Denver, outside the defense and how elite they are? I wish I had thinking music right now, right? I don't, but I wish I did. Some people say one and done on TikTok. Some people say when I think of Denver, I think about them losing to the Chicago Bears. Jabor on TikTok. I wish I had a high five for you, my brother. You are right. Bo Nix is the next thing that you think about when you talk about Denver. Is that, can he get it done? Like, he's shown glimpses, right? He'll play a quarter there good, a half here good, but then sometimes he'll play a whole 3 quarters terrible, right? And then he'll turn it on in the last drive, right? Now, this isn't the regular season. It's win or go home now. It's win or go home. So, that's the only drawback I have with Denver. That's the only drawback I have with them. And there's another team like that. Anyone can guess who the other team is, and we'll talk about them here soon because they got a matchup this weekend as well. Denver's defense is an elite defense. They can get it rolling with anybody. So, lucky for them, they have home field advantage throughout the playoffs, so that's a good thing. Your defense is good, good enough to even keep you in a game, right? As long as Bo Nix doesn't go crazy and just plays terrible. It's going to be interesting for Buffalo because you're going to go on the road, which, they just did last week in I would say a pretty hostile environment. I mean, Jacksonville, they get behind their Jags a little bit there. So Josh Allen's going to have to continue to be special. That's part of the keys to victory. I think running the football is going to help them tremendously. And this is a good point. Mike Patterson? He makes a good point. He said, seeing what the Jags came into Denver and did to them gives me a higher chance for Buffalo. Absolutely. Absolutely. And don't get me wrong, Jags were a good football team. And that was a good game. That could have gone either way. It could have been Jacksonville or Buffalo. Buffalo just made more plays at the end of the day. That's it. And sometimes that's what it comes down to sometimes. In a game this close, -1.5, Vegas is telling you, folks, excuse me, that this is going to be a close game. As far as Denver's keys to victory, I mean, listen, continue to play balls out on defense, pause. And Bo Nix, don't turn the football over. Don't allow your defense to swarm, create turnovers themselves. You take advantage of that. You got the home field. You got the crowd behind you. Now, there is a lot of pressure being a number 1 seed. Like, don't get it twisted. If this is a championship caliber team, which a lot of people think they are, then it's no problem. But there is a lot of pressure to being a number 1, right? Because a lot of you guys have been resting. You had a bye last week, and now you're going to be playing against a team that literally just had to win a last-second game. So you think they're going to be rolling or not, and they should be. All right. Bears or Rams? Dr. Squatch, I'm going to get to that game in just a second, so just keep watching, man. You guys get those likes up, man. We're at 2.9. Let's get up to 3 if we can. But overall, I I like Buffalo. I think Buffalo's going to go in. I think this is going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a great game. I think the Bills are going to be able to run the football. And I think Josh Allen's going to make a play here and a play there that Bo Nix cannot. And that's going to be the difference. That is going to be the difference. And I think the Bills get it done on the road in Denver and move on to the conference championship round for sure. All right, we got San Francisco and Seattle. Seattle, similar to Denver. Great defense. Mike, he says, this is James Cook game. Denver doesn't have the best run defense. Great defense. Great defense in Seattle. They get after the quarterback as well. But another team, the quarterback, I don't trust in big-time situations. Granted, this is probably the most ideal situation. You're playing a 49ers team that just has been hampered with injuries throughout the year. George Kittle done. Now your only stars are Brock Purdy and Christian McCaffrey and Trent Williams. Those are your three guys. Maybe Ricky Pearsall plays. I don't know. Defensively, I mean, they're holding it together. I mean, I know they're not great, but they're getting the job done. Now, the one thing they need to do is something that they can't really do because they don't have the personnel, and that's get after the quarterback. Now, if Sam Darnold has time to throw the football, he's got targets. JSN is having a career year this year, right? Don't get it twisted. Their defense is good, but don't be wrong. I mean, don't be fooled. Their offense is not too shabby. The way they run the football, you throw JSN in the mix, they get those tight ends going. The Seattle Seahawks are a dangerous team. You know, if I'm the 49ers, your best hope is to keep it close. Brock Purdy is going to have to play out of his mind this week. The good thing is, though, there's some familiarity. They just played each other a couple weeks ago. The game was close. It was not San Francisco, but in that area, right? It was a home game. It kind of came down to some last plays at the end, so they know each other. This will be the third time they're playing, okay? So Kyle Shanahan will be ready to go. This is a well-coached team. Now, the spread, what is the spread? The spread is -7 in favor of the Seahawks. Over-under is 45.5. I mean, that's justifiable, I would say. Because, again, it's going to boil down to creativity and the ability for the 49ers to somehow slow down Seattle and make some big plays on both sides of the ball. From a Seattle's perspective, this team can't get after the quarterback. So Sam Darnold should have all day. He shouldn't feel the pressure like how he felt last year when he was with the Minnesota Vikings and they played the Rams, right? You shouldn't really see that because the 49ers don't have that in their arsenal at this point. They can run the football as well between Walker and Charbonnet. They're very physical. I talked about JSN, all right? For them, it's pretty simple. Don't turn the ball over. Make the big plays because they're gonna be some big plays to be had out there. It's good for sure. And you'll have the 12th man behind you. I think this game will be close. I think it's going to be decided by a field goal. I get to that effect. But I got to take Seattle. They're the healthier team. They're at home. It's not a slight at to the San Francisco 49ers because what a tremendous season. Like, I wouldn't be mad if they lose this game and Kyle Shanahan gets the coach of the year. I mean, he deserves it. Maybe you think about it, and there's a lot of deserving coaches, but he's got to be one of them up there as well. So I like Seattle in this game. All right. Texans, Patriots. Very interesting game here. Another team with a great defense, elite defense in Tech. I mean, listen, Houston's defense is good enough to win a Super Bowl. For sure. For sure. What up, Jennifer? You know, let's get those likes going, guys. We got 17 people in here. Let's get it going. Texans. So this line opened up at -3.5. Over under is 40.5. You know, this game is going to boil down to, again, quarterback play. CJ Stroud, although in a win, did not look really that impressive last night against Pittsburgh. And that was a mediocre Pittsburgh defense. The only thing that the Pittsburgh defense can do, or really one guy can do, is TJ Watt, and that's get after the quarterback. Other than that, he had like 2 fumbles. Did he have a pick? I don't remember if he had a pick or not. But he didn't look very comfortable. And in all likelihood, Nico Collins will probably not play in this game. Right? He left the game yesterday, so he's in concussion protocol for sure. CJ Stroud, although I like him, physical tools, he's got it. But he's got to play better. You know, he's point blank. He's got to play better. This is not the Steelers you're playing this week. What up, Charles? Damn, man. Where the hell you been, brother? You know, Mikey says, in my opinion, Bills versus Texans and Seahawks versus Bears. Oh, that's what you got in the AFC. Okay. All right. Got you. Roger that. I like CJ, but he's got to play better. So for them, if I'm the coach and I'm going over the game plan for the Texans right now, I'm saying, guys, listen, Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter, you guys do what you do. You guys get jiggy back there. You get loose. You get after the quarterback because you guys can do that. If you have not watched the Texans game, if you have not watched Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter and guys like Petrie back there, these guys are cracking fools back there, okay? They are one of the best defenses I've seen in quite some time. And people don't talk about them because it's the Texans, right? But throw on the tape. We got YouTube. Throw it on. Will Anderson is a stud, man. Straight out, flat out stud. When he got drafted, we all were like, at least I was like, damn, that's a good pickup. That's a good pickup. And then Danielle Hunter, who has some good years in his career, he's kind of found a resurgence himself, right? But keys to victory, I digress. Keys to victory for the Texans. If I'm the coach right now, we're sitting in the log. I'm like, gentlemen, defense, you guys have to get to Drake May. Drake May has shown in certain situations that he's kind of loose with the ball, whether it's the mishandling, a pick here or there. All right. So you're going to have to pressure him. Pressure is going to be key, right? Stopping the run is going to be a factor for the Texans. Okay. If you can do that, limit them to field goals instead of touchdowns, you keep the game close, you should be okay. From an offensive perspective, Texans, you have to run the football because, like I said before, don't know if Nico Collins is going to be a go. Again, he left the game for a concussion. He may not be ready to go, right? So other guys are going to have to step up. Like I believe the kid out of Iowa said, I think Higgins, he's going to have to step up. Christian Kirk had a really good game. Again, you're not playing Pittsburgh Steelers though. Patriots are a way better defense. But running the football with Woody Marks and Nick Chubb is going to have to be a thing. It has to. You guys set up play action. You have to simplify for CJ Stroud, right? Charles, I don't think the Seahawks will beat the Niners won't beat the Seahawks. You just missed that one. But CJ's going to have to keep it clean, man. He can't turn the ball over willy-nilly like that because the Patriots are good enough at home to take advantage of that, right? I know this is not the Tom Brady's Patriots, but there's something about playing in Foxborough. They got this mystique, and when that thing is rolling, there's nothing you can do about that, okay? All right. Patriots. Pretty simple. Drake May, don't turn the ball over, bro. Don't turn the ball over. Play within the confines. Take what they give you. Quick check downs. If you got to throw it to a back, throw it to a back. Do not hold that ball for more than 2.5 seconds because I guarantee you, Will Anderson or Dylan Hunter will get after your ass. I'm telling you right now. They're watching that right now in Foxborough. They're in the room. They're in the tape room. Like, dude, I can't hold that ball. Okay? That's number one. Number two, just like the Texans, you got to run the football. The best way to alleviate pressure is to run the football. Because when teams understand that you have third and long or second and long or whatever the case may be, if it's a long down and distance, you're pretty much screwed. We got a question from TikTok. Have you seen their schedule 25? The Titans could be in the playoffs. Right. I mean, granted, yeah. And a lot of people will say that. And I'm not going to discredit that. I'm not going to discredit them. Right. They played who they played. It is what it is. I get that. But this is a well-coached team, right? They've gone on the road. They've beaten some really good teams. They've beaten the Bills on the road. They've beaten the Ravens when the Ravens were kind of getting it back into the swing of things. So they've got some pretty decent wins on their resume. But I won't disagree that their path is a lot more easier than traditionally than most other teams. I will concede that. Absolutely. Absolutely. Defensively, you know they're going to be down a guy, Nico Collins. That's a big thing. Nico Collins is a beast. But however, I think that Higgins kid, he's built like Nico Collins, same frame. Matter of fact, I think he's had a better rookie year than Nico Collins did. Woody Marks, pretty good. So, but defensively, they're going to have to stop the run as well. I say all that to say this. Give me the Texans. Let's go. I like the Texans still, man. I think that defense is so damn good. They may score a touchdown or two themselves. So I'll probably come back here next week, Tuesday, and see, hey, whatever. But this is going to be a true test for the New England Patriots. As long as CJ Stroud just doesn't give them the ball, the Texans can win this game. I'm going to go with the Texans. I'm going to go on a long, and I'm going to go with the Texans. So I've been on the Texans. For those who have followed me throughout the years, I have been on the Texans for quite some time now. Quite some time. So, and I'm not gonna stop now. Although the Patriots having a good year, I like what Drake May has done. The Texans defense they're legit. They're legit. All right. Mikey says, and Drake struggled with that versus Chargers. He threw a pick and fumble. Right. And the Chargers, to me, weren't even that formidable. That game was relatively close. I mean, until the very end, a couple plays here, a couple plays there. Then, boom, you look up, it's like, oh, damn, it's like 16-6 or whatever the case it was. Like, it's just that the Chargers couldn't get anything going. And Drake May I haven't looked at the schedule, but I don't think Drake May has seen a pass rush like this all year. Unless they didn't play Seattle, right? I don't think so. They didn't play Denver, right? Did they? So this is probably the best defense they're going to see all year round. All right. So something about a person that is hiding themselves within no PFB1 trophy. All right. Let's go TikTok, man. Hey, let's get up to 4,000 likes if we can. We got 45 people in here, man. Let's get it going. NFL matchups. It's lit right here. YouTube, what's up, man? You guys are lagging, man. What's up? Charles, if you're still here, man, what's up, man? All right. Last game, and then I'll wrap up here, but I'll stick on TikTok if you guys want to take the party over there. Yeah, Lamar, I am a Golden Knights fan, man. Go Knights, go. Go Knights, go. Not Raiders fan, Golden Knights. This is the Golden Knights hockey. All right. Bears, Rams. Rams are favorite in Soldier Field, -4, right? Right. You look at both of their last playoff games. Rams struggled. I mean, they were -10.5. They should have won that game, according to Vegas, by at least a touchdown. Okay. And they did it. Right. They needed to pull that game out, right? And the Rams haven't been playing well. They just haven't. But they found a way to win. And that's a noble quality that I like in championship caliber teams. They just find ways to win. But it just seems like to me they kind of stumbled into the playoffs a little bit, dropping the Seahawks game, dropping that Falcons game. Then you got to go on the road to Carolina. And now you got to go back on the road to Chicago where it's going to be cold. Okay. Chicago, great season. Great town. Actually, I lived in that area when I was stationed out there in Waukegan, Great Lakes area. Shout out to all my Navy personnel that lived out there in Waukegan, Great Lakes. Great city, great food, great environment, great everything, right? Chicago had to, they had to do some work themselves, right? Because honestly, when you think about it, they probably should have lost that game. I'm not even trolling them. I'm just saying, like it's not as much as they won the game. Part of it too, Green Bay kind of gave away the game, but I don't want to take credit for them because they still have to fight back. They still have to make plays. Caleb Williams had to convert that 4th and long to keep the drive going. Like, there's a lot of other things, right? Ben Johnson, another candidate, coach of the year, right? Yes, you're right. You're right, that guy. That 4th down reception was insane. They win the division. You beat your rival, the Packers, twice in last month or so. Caleb Williams looking legit out there, right? Still some things he can clean up, but nonetheless, this is a good offense. Roma Dunze, DJ Moore, Manungai. Like, where the hell did that guy come from? Okay. Luther Burden, like the wide receiver. Like, he sounds like an old school R&B singer. I don't expect him to catch balls. I expect them to be, macking someone's woman up in some jazz club somewhere. Luther Burden, right? So Cole Kmet, Loveland, right? They got talent. It's pretty simple, though. The Rams, to me, are one of the best teams, or not best teams, but at least balanced, right? From coaching, quarterback play, wide receiving, running, offensive line. Like, obviously they're not perfect, but they're balanced, okay? And if you're the Rams organization, you're the coaching staff, you're telling your guys, listen, guys, Matthew, again, we got to find Puka. We got to find him early. We got to find Devontae early, right? We got to run the ball. Defensively, guys like Jared Verse, we're going to have to find a way to somewhat keep Caleb Williams in the pocket because although Caleb Williams is having a good season, to me, when I watch it, I don't have any stats in front of me, so don't kill me in the chat. But when I watch him, he's a lot better off script. He's a lot better when he's rolling out. He's just making plays. That's what he's done, right? So if I can kind of keep him corralled inside, let him throw from that platform, from that pocket, that's probably better for us. Because if he's out there running around, it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing. So for the Rams, again, contain Caleb Williams, right? Stop the run, right? Offensively, get Puka and Devontae Adams going early and off quick. Okay. From the Bears' perspective, you're going to have to take whatever onslaught that comes from the Rams. Okay. Quickly. Defense is okay, I would say. I mean, I think they're like one of the number one defenses in regards to like takeaways. So that's the thing Matthew Stafford's going to have to be on the lookout for. And last time I checked, Matthew Stafford is not a very mobile guy. It's going to be cold. It's going to be frigid, right? Now, he's got a little bit of experience playing in that environment when he was with the Lions, right? But it's going to be something. From an offensive perspective, Caleb Williams, take what they give you, my guy. Don't, because it's the playoffs, don't press. Don't press. It's very easy. They give you the check down, you take the check down. You live to see the next play, right? Because if you start out there trying to feel pressure and throwing balls down the field and you start turning the ball over, especially to a team that's offensively as talented as the LA Rams, you are going to be in a hold, right? So I say all that. At the end of the day, the Rams have always been one of my picks to make it to the Super Bowl. And they're favored in this game, and rightfully so. I think they should be. Now, they haven't been playing great, but they've found ways to win games despite that. And they're one of the most balanced teams that's left in the National Football League in the playoffs, right? You really can't say too much negative about their roster at any level. I mean, yeah, you can probably say it's secondary, whatnot, but I'm going to go with the Rams to win the game. You know, I think the Rams are going to win this game. You know, again, people may not agree with that. It is what it is. It's just my perspective. You look at the quarterback, although I get it, he's older, you know, he's not as mobile, but he's got that championship mentality, right? The head coach, one of the best head coaches in the league right now. Okay. You got two really solid running backs. You have probably one of the best two tandem and wide receivers in Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua. Like, they can get after it. They can score in bunches if you get them going. Okay. And like I said, defensively, guys like Jared Verse up the middle, they're pretty stout. The secondary, a little concerning, and some parts of the offensive line is a little concerning for me too. Okay. But in the end, I kind of like the Rams. They've been there before. They know what it takes. I like the Rams to win this game. Great season for the Bears. I like what the Bears have done. I think the future is bright for the Bears. But in this particular case, I like the Rams to win the game. So just to recap, he said, excuse me, Vrabel's the best coach. Vrabel's good, but he hasn't won a Super Bowl as a head coach. So I'll give you, unless he has, you can check. Tell me if he has or not. I'll wait because he hasn't. He's a good coach. Don't get me wrong. He's taken some Titans teams deep into the playoffs, or lack of, or whatever the case may be. But he's had a good run. He's had a good run. But McVay's been to two Super Bowls. And given the fact that this team, three times, I mean, that's as a player. We're talking about as a coach. As a coach, he's not a player anymore. He's a coach. So, all right. To recap, we got Bills. I got Bills over Denver. I got the Seahawks over 49ers. I got the Texans over the Patriots, and I got the Rams taking the win over the Chicago Bears. So, but all right. There you have it. I'm done here on YouTube. If you guys want to swing on over to TikTok, there's my handle down there. I'll be on live. I'll be on TikTok for a little bit more as I'm going to go through the chats here, answer some questions. We'll chew the fat with some people on there. It's kind of jumping in there a little bit, so we'll get in there right now. So other than that, man, I'll be back next week, Tuesday, same time, same channel. But next week, we'll be talking about the conference championship games. Who will be fighting for the right to get to the Super Bowl in San Francisco, or wherever the hell they play, Levi Stadium. So not actually San Francisco, but you guys get the picture. So other than that, man, appreciate you guys, man. Shout out to everyone that was in the chat. Peace and love, man. I'll see you again next time. This is your boy Ryan Flowers, aka Clutch Sports Talk. Never settle till the work is done. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.
We're going to be here all day, baby. I like this kind of party. I like this kind of party, baby.
Clutch Sports Talk. Let's go.